Yeah, just first off, just want to thank everybody for being here today. It's an honor for me to be here at the College Football Hall of Fame, part of the National Football Foundation, and our family has had such a involvement and been around the College Football Hall of Fame for a number of years. In 1989, my father was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, and he brought my oldest brother Cooper, Peyton, and I to New York City for the first time I'd ever been. I was 8 years old. I was looking sharp in my tux that night. And, in 1997, Peyton was awarded the Dratty Award by the National Football Foundation. The College Football Hall of Fame is the most outstanding national scholar athlete at the senior year at the University of Tennessee in 1999. I was a part of the high school scholar athlete, and in 2003 went back to New York for one of the 15 members of the national scholar athletes, and my dad this past year being elected as one of the chairmen of the College Football Hall of Fame and the National Football Foundation. So our family has been a big part of our lives. College football, obviously, one of the great memories of my life. And I was there 5 years. I was redshirted, and just great times. And so it's an honor, and I'm very thrilled to be here tonight or today. Thank you very much.
Very well said. So, Eli, do you have any family? Tell us, brothers, sisters?
I do. I have a few.
Was there any chance that you were not going to be a football player growing up in that family?
It would have been tough. I would have been an outcast a little bit. But my parents, my father especially, he never forced football upon us. He never forced us to play sports. I think he encouraged it. Once we getting started, he thought it was good for building character and teamwork and those type of things. But you see a lot of parents today, and you see clips or you hear about stories about parents kind of forcing their kids, and you see clips of parents kind of freaking out at baseball games or different things. And my dad, he never got too involved in our athletics. He was there for support or help if we wanted to, if we'd asked him to come, hit us some ground balls if we were playing baseball, or to run some routes for us when we were in high school and whatnot. But he, I think he kind of lived and did his athletic, career and performance where he just wanted us to go through it ourselves. If we enjoyed it, if we liked it, he encouraged us to work hard at it. But he wasn't going to force us to play any sport or force us to do anything that we didn't want to do.
Give us a story. I don't know if anybody's seen the classic piece of video. They played it during the Manning Bowl. They played it during the Super Bowl. It looked like a backdoor game with the young Manning brothers, and somebody got pulled on the neck. I don't know if it was you, but someone said, nobody pulls on the neck. Tell us a story, something like that, where maybe what was going on between you and the other brothers in the backdoor football games. Was that you, by the way, that I'm talking about?
That was not me. That was Peyton. That was Peyton crying, as usual. And so Cooper is my oldest brother. He's 2 years older than Peyton, and I'm 5 years younger than Peyton. So really, growing up for me, I never competed much with my brothers. I was just a thrill just to be involved in some of their games. Our house growing up was kind of the house where we had a pretty good front yard where a lot of Saturday afternoon pickup games with friends from the neighborhood, and so. Both my brothers would have pals over, and just, if there was an odd number, then I would get to play in their game. That's kind of how it worked. I was a lot of times I was permanent center if there was even numbers, and everyone I would never, they wouldn't really throw it to me, except every once in a while they'd give me a shot. No one was guarding me, so I was I could hardly run yet catch a football, but every once in a while they'd draw up a play to me, and if I caught it, I was kind of the hero, and they maybe draw up another one. If I dropped it, then they never looked my way the rest of the day. So that was kind of growing up and in my family. So I looked up to both my brothers. They were kind of my heroes growing up, watching them play high school football. Peyton was his sophomore year. He was the starting quarterback. Cooper was the starting receiver, and Peyton threw it to him every single time. It was really kind of awkward. Some of my friends were on, their brothers were on the team and other receivers, and they all didn't like me because Peyton never threw their brother the football. And so it was a little awkward, but it was an exciting time, and I mean I can name every player on that high school team to this day. I mean, they were kind of my heroes, and watching them play, and that's all I really wanted to do. I wanted to play high school football and kind of be in their shoes, and from there it grew on to playing in college at Ole Miss and into the NFL.
What high school was that in New Orleans? Right?
Newman High School in New Orleans, Louisiana. Just a small school. Football. We're not really known for its football. But we did okay. We never won a state championship. We kind of always made it to about the third round of the playoffs or so.
When did the brothers and everybody else realize that, holy cow, this kid's got an arm too? When did Eli get his due when it came to those games?
I don't know. I have a little. I didn't bring it with me. I have a little 5th grade flag football highlight film I could have brought. It's really exciting. We
can make it happen.
Yeah. I don't know. I just probably in high school, Peyton was always supported me, and even in high school, I have some film where he came back from college at Tennessee his freshman year. So I was going to be a freshman. I might have been a sophomore year. I was going to be a freshman, quarterback at my high school, and he came back to spring practice, and he got the video camera out, and he came and filmed my practice, and we watched it so he could kind of teach me whatever he was learning in college. He wanted to bring down and teach me those things. So he always looked out for me. He always supported me, wanted me to be at my best, and kind of still do that today. We always talk to each other. We always support each other. If you saw the Super Bowl on TV, he was there in the suite jumping up and down and fired up and rooting for me. So we definitely have a great supporting cast with my father, Peyton, and my older brother and my mom.
And you mentioned your mom. Is she the most underrated person in the family, the one that we may not see or hear from the most? Your mother, Olivia. I mean, is she going straight to football heaven or what?
Yeah, I mean, we would be lost without her. We would be worthless. She gave us. She ran the family for sure. She did everything to get us. She washed a lot of jock straps and different things in her day. I feel sorry for her, honestly. She's been to more football games and little league baseball games and basketball games than any lady should have to go to. So she finally my oldest brother Cooper had a daughter who's 5 years old. So she finally got our little granddaughter who she's spoiling to death. And so, but that's a good thing.
Why Ole Miss for you? Take us through that progression. You see your brother have the great success at Tennessee. I'm sure they came knocking to you at some point, along with some other great Division I schools. But you went Ole Miss, kind of following the footsteps of somebody else.
Yeah, when I was getting recruited, I looked at Tennessee. I liked the coaching staff that was there. One of the big, one of the people I knew and was very close to Peyton was a guy, David Cutcliffe, who was at the University of Tennessee. He was the offensive coordinator, and kind of midway through my recruiting process of my senior year, David Cutcliffe got the head coaching job at Ole Miss, and so he started. It was an awkward about 3 weeks earlier. I called Coach Cutcliffe, and he was recruiting me at Tennessee. I had to call him, and I said, Coach, it's hard for me to say, but I just can't make it to Tennessee. It's just not going to work out. It's just too close to following in Peyton's footsteps, and I enjoyed our relationship, and it's just not going to work out. And so, 3 weeks later, he's hired at the head coach of Ole Miss, and I didn't have enough energy to have that conversation again with him. I could not call him and say I wasn't going to come to his school. So I went to Ole Miss. My father was there. A lot of people have asked me, it's a big footsteps, following in your father's shoes. And I said, well, I was a little nervous about it at first, and then I saw his stats at Ole Miss, and they really weren't that impressive. So, he threw a lot of interceptions, not as many touchdowns.
Very nice.
He did have a lot of rushing yards, which I never had. I was negative every season. I think one season I had 7 rushing yards for the season, which is pretty good. But it was just I liked the school. I liked the coaching staff. I liked the people, and it was just a good fit for me.